AC Sports Live is brought to you by All In CDO Training, the future of commercial driving. Earn your Class A and Class B license and endorsements with courses online and in person in the city of Long Beach. Call or visit the website 909-708-4861, www.allincdotraining.com. If you're unemployed, underemployed, or just want to change a career, scholarships are available, so don't worry about the cost. Give them a call. All In CDO Training, the future of commercial driving. AC Sports Live is also brought to you by Mood Swing Apparel, DEM Clothing. Dominate every matchup, period. Check them out, Mood Swing Apparel on Instagram. AC Sports Live is also brought to you by Cannon Nation Boxing. If you want to learn the sweet science of boxing, or if you just want to get a real good workout in, working out and training with pros, check out CannonNationBoxing.com and become the best version of yourself today.
He ain't never slumber, never put him to the test. He be reigning king forever, resurrected after death. All praise to God, brother, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, all praise to the one.
Yes, sir.
Once again, back in the building, AC Sports Live. This time with our microphone set at the right levels. Let me get a good listen. How we used to say it, right quick. All right. Can't keep running away. Far Side, 1993, I believe the year was. Shout out to all my class of 1992 Jackrabbits, as it is graduation season. To all my students out there graduating, you did it. Now it's time for the next chapter. What you're going to do now. If you need a career and you're not going to college, All In CDO Training, the future of commercial driving. Get your license in less than 3 months in the city of Long Beach, the only Black-owned trucking school in Southern California. AllinCDOtraining.com. Check them out. Dr. Snipes. What it do, bruh? Or should I say, what's that what's going on with the scary movie again coming out Friday? They made that movie like in secret. Like nobody knew they were making that movie. And I don't think anybody was asking for that movie. If you like those types of movies, that's coming out this Friday. I'm cool on that. I'm a little bit too old now for slapstick. Dr. Snipes said Brock beat Oba last Sunday in a revenge match. I saw it. My son and I watched it yesterday in Italy. And I was kind of disappointed. I wanted Oba to have a run like Goldberg. I wanted him to have an undefeated, untouchable kind of debut. But they gave him a loss so soon, it leads me to believe that they don't see him as a guy that can carry the network. And I don't know if he can either. He's a sensation. He's super entertaining. He's worldwide in less than 5 months, and that he had that stadium in Italy rocking when he dropped his beat. And he came out with his, and he does his little, what's the name, with the lights and the camera shooting upward. It makes you think he's 7 feet tall, but I think he's 6'4". My son said he's only 6'4", but he's 300 pounds, that much agility. So he has the goods. But they brought Brock Lesnar back. It almost felt like a gimmick by Lesnar to get his dollars up a little bit. He came back so fast without any hesitation, and it gave him a victory in his first bout after a surprise retirement, which leads to a SummerSlam rivalry. And those who don't like wrestling, professional wrestling, because it's fake, let us have our enjoyment. Let us appreciate the male soap opera that is the WWE and the AEW and NXT. It's real to us. People are falling. People are getting slammed, dropped on their head. I was more upset with Jade Cargill getting beat by Leah Ripley again. I think that should have been a back and forth. But it's a rivalry. Two big, muscular, Amazonian women going at it. It's good for TV, and it's good for our entertainment. So I was thoroughly entertained with all the matches in Italy. So wrestling is back. If you're not watching it, check it out. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. We got to have me on the top rope talk, maybe for a Night of the Champions show. Let me know, man. You know I'm coaching football right now, so it's kind of tough. My schedule is what it is. I missed the show 3 weeks ago because I got home from a football game too late. But yeah, man, I love to talk wrestling. My son kind of keeps me into it. We're trying our best to get, WrestleMania tickets, SummerSlam tickets, all these different events, Money in the Bank. All those different events are super, super cool to go to. My last wrestling event we went to was AEW. I forgot the name of the event, but it was in Vegas. And we had really good tickets. I mean, we were right there. I think we high-fived Daniel Bryan, Mercedes Moné. I think that's her name now. She was Sasha Banks in the WWE, but she's over there. And we saw some pretty cool, upstart wrestling superstars over there. But we've been digging it since my son was old enough to recognize, that it's a fun show. Every time we get a chance to see it in person or even on television, it's just a good show. So we're wrestling fans. He likes to go to these. We go to the Comic-Con events at the convention center in Ontario or in Long Beach, and we get to meet different wrestlers. He met what was his name? Wade Garrett and Rikishi, as in he was a kid, and he was trying to meet some wrestlers the last couple of weeks, but we just couldn't make it down to Ontario for the event. But why not, man? Enjoy life, have fun. Let these guys be imaginary, fictional superheroes in real life when we know they're regular people. I tell the story about when I met Eddie Guerrero. He was like 5'7". Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. He was the littlest dude, and I was like, man, we thought you were 6'4". Like, we thought you were a big dude. He was little, and he flinched at us like he was going to hit us because we were in the front row in San Jose in the arena, and we had front row tickets because we were football players on the local team, so we had tickets. And Eddie Guerrero came out. He was tiny, bro. I was cracking up laughing. Well, both you AC2 on, and y'all welcome to come on the show and be stacked. Okay, let me know. He likes to talk wrestling. He probably knows a lot more than I do. The biggest topic today for me is the NFL trades. Now, you have the NBA Finals. That's definitely a big thing, but neither team is my team. However, I'm very excited about this NBA Finals. But the first topic I want to jump on is this AJ Brown trade and this Myles Garrett trade. Big things shaking up. No disrespect to Jared Verse, but when the Los Angeles Rams acquire a talent like Myles Garrett, it raises eyebrows, because Jared Verse is he all pro? I think he is all pro. He's just that good. But when you think about Myles Garrett, That's the next level. That's like the final boss of defensive players. I was praying the Eagles would pick him up, but we didn't have anything to trade for him. Maybe Nolan Smith and like 3 or 4 first rounders for the next 4 years. But the Rams were able to get Myles Garrett for Jarrett Version, a first round pick, I think. Which also raises a concern. Aaron Donald is Myles Garrett's good friend. The Rams still own the rights to Aaron Donald. Dr. Frazier in the building. Aaron Donald has been working out since he retired. Why did Aaron Donald retire? I think he lacked inspiration. He wasn't injured. They won a Super Bowl. He was content. Now just imagine Aaron Donald alongside Myles Garrett. A defensive coordinator's dream. 2 unblockable. Double teams don't work. If Aaron Donald comes out of retirement, I think we go ahead and give the Rams the championship. Because they already have the weapons offensively. They've already had a good enough defense. They were a few plays away. Even the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, the Rams were the next best team to me. And with that offense, the creativity, Sean McVay, who's going to beat the Rams? My Eagles, now that Myles Garrett is in the building, that makes things tougher. But I want to say with the trade of A.J. Brown to the Patriots, I think the Eagles can move on. I think the tension is out of the room. The stress is off the shoulders of Jalen Hurts and the rest of that offense. This new offensive coordinator does not have to worry about the stress that A.J. Brown presents. Snipe says, so Devontae Smith, number 1 now in Philly, or the new rookie? Oh, Smitty's number 1. And we'll see if Mekhi Lemon could be number 2. We picked up a couple of good veterans. Big times in the building. I appreciate your commentary this morning, man. Got my day started right with somebody who has some common sense, talking about some things that we know to be true in our face. The sky is blue. Don't let anybody tell you it's purple. If you haven't seen his commentary, check out the Big Time Show. Check out his personal page. He broke it down for us as it was voting today. I voted. I don't have my sticker on. My sticker is on the table. But I voted here in California. And it's important. Our ancestors died for the right to vote. Current administration is trying to take away our right to vote. Not going to happen. So get out there and do it. That's your civic duty. Sweet brother Noomsy's in here. I can see AD coming back mid-season so he can skip OTAs. I don't even think Aaron Donald minds OTAs. He's so dominant. And I wouldn't dare make him condition. Who's going to tell Aaron Donald he got 6 200s, 10 110s, 20-yard bursts? You're going to tell Aaron Donald he got conditioning? He's one of the best conditioned defensive tackles of all time. As long as he comes in shape when he feels like playing, he'll play. He never came off the field. Great pickup that helps the Rams. The Rams look like the Super Bowl contender right now. They will move on, but I don't see them being better without A.J. Brown. The Eagles will move on, but they don't be better. You can't say you lose a all-pro and got better. I agree with that. But I believe you could breathe and build without the foolishness that they were going through. And then now that it's coming out, it makes me even more upset that we had to even go through that mess. Here he is acting like the victim, quoting Bible scriptures, reading books on the sidelines, and he's the one doing dirt. Now, it's allegedly, but where there's smoke, there's fire. If this cat is doing what they say he's doing on the side, you just got married, his poor brand new wife has to deal with this. This is part of the whole package. He has to have her sit down so he can tell her how long ago this happened, and she's going to do the math and see it was just recent. So I'm glad he's gone. I couldn't stand his attitude when he was fussing and pouting on the sideline and acting like it's all about my stats. I can't get paid if I don't get stats. Bro, you're all pro. You're going to get top dollar. But you brought down a perfectly good team after a Super Bowl run with the same guys. We only lost a few guys. Mekhi Becton and who else we lost? We lost who? Kelsey, our center. But you pouting because you're not getting no touches, and then when we do give you the ball, we lose. So did we get better on paper? No, we did not. We did not have the best OC either. However, I can't stand a receiver who tries to destroy something good. I played receiver. I've went games without getting the football. I know how you feel useless when you're not getting the football or you're not part of the game plan. But it's still a team. If the team is winning and the team is going a different direction, no, it's not the best situation for a receiver to not be involved in the game plan. But if you have brought that bad vibe to the locker room, whether it be your wife who's mad at Jalen Hurts' wife, or whether you mad at Jalen Hurts for not covering up for you, this is a sucker move. I don't wish ill on you in your life. I hope your marriage is successful. I hope your kids is healthy and everybody's good. But I don't wish you well in New England. I hope we play you guys. I hope our brand new 6'4" corner, Tariq the Freak Woolen, gets to guard you one-on-one the entire day and you don't catch one route. That's what I hope happens. You go 0. 5 attempts, 0 catches. For the diva who made all this fuss and cost us a whole season of waste, we were hoping that season would come to an end. It was hard watching us play. Saquon had a terrible season. I blame him. He started off wrong, hanging out with the president, did not give us good vibes. He seemed so out of touch with the people. It reminded me of the Jackson Dart situation. When you don't know the temperature of the situation, you kind of look naive. You can do whatever you want to as a grown man. You can support who you want to as a grown man. You can vote for whoever you want to as a grown man. But you have to understand, when you're part of a public team, you're part of a franchise that's very visible, and everything you do is under a microscope, and you do things because you say, I can do whatever I want. Jackson Dart, you thought you and Scatterboo can get it cracking no matter what support group we might offend. Well, history has proven that doesn't go very well. So we'll see. Did the Eagles move on, and do we play better? Does the ball spread out without having to force it to A.J. Brown? And what is A.J. Brown going to do in New England? He can get the ball 8 to 10 times a game, 150 yards a game. But did you see Drake May in the Super Bowl? Limited So, I think he had a good thing and you smoked it off and now we got to deal with it. I think the Eagles will be better as far as flow, how the team gels with this new OC. I don't have his name in front of me, but it's a new day in Philly. And we get to move on without a cat who was the one doing the dirt, causing all the riff, and now you mad. I can't stand that, man. That's tender love. How about you stay on the up and up with your massage therapist? I was wondering why Hassan Reddick left the team so abruptly. Now I know why. Now I get it. I get it now. What I love about the NFL is that it's any given Sunday. And that's why we played on Saturday. It is. I think the NFL has a good thing because they have such a short schedule. Every game is important, so you won't see a lot of tanking. But I do appreciate what the NBA did as far as making an attempt to limit the tanking and the sitting of superstars by making it so that teams that come in dead last or are attempting to come in dead last will not have a benefit in the draft lottery. So I think that was a good move by the NBA. Speaking of the NBA, I'm moving on from this. This NBA talk is just crazy, man. I'm watching the Gills Arena, and Brandon Jennings and Nick Young are arguing with Rashad McCants about the top 3 players of all time, and they're talking about LeBron, Kobe, and Michael Jordan. And of course, you have a right to who you believe is the GOAT. It's a conversation. We always have this conversation, and it's always going to be subjective. You like who you like. You have your own definition of great. My problem with this discussion was Brandon Jennings and Nick Young saying the 90s were trash. I take offense to that, because how are you going to say an era that had just as many Hall of Famers as you might have in today's game, playing that game in the 90s when it was much more competitive, where every game seemed like a dogfight, whereas today, dudes are shaking hands before the game is over. Like, dudes are friends. So I think the difference between thinkers like Brandon Jennings and Nick Young, who want LeBron James to be their GOAT because they played in his era and they want to equate what he went through with their game, like they played with us. So I think Nick Young had Kobe because he played with Kobe. But they are diminishing what Michael Jordan did because of who he played against. They were bringing up like Mark Price and Reggie Miller and these guys, Stockton, and no guys didn't play defense or whatever. I beg to differ. You got beat up, and he was not flopping like SGA. He was getting tackled. Allen Iverson was getting tackled. These dudes were getting elbowed and knocked down and was still getting the bucket up. So have your GOAT, but don't neglect the other people that played in the era, in the generation. I think that is irresponsible by these NBA players to kind of belittle the guys that were in that era. Staff said, what I've noticed is that you can see that it doesn't matter if you have played in the league to show your ignorance. These guys are clowns. I wonder how much of that is like on purpose. Like, how much is that because they want those clips to go viral? Because that's how the show sells sponsorship, is clicks and follows and repeats of different clips. This clip's going to go viral twice over because it's ridiculous. And Rashad McCants is usually the one that's ridiculous, but this time he sounded more sane than the other two, and he was just kind of like, what determines your criteria? Is stats? He said LeBron James plays 23 years, Michael Jordan played 14. What are you talking about? And he says Michael Jordan didn't play against anybody. And I was like, yo, this seems like the kid that I found last week who said Tim Duncan would be trash today. Like Tim Duncan couldn't play today. I love Wembanyama, But I don't think Wembanyama's skill set is the only thing that he has over his opponents. I think Wembanyama's desire. Wembanyama is crying at the end of games. Wembanyama bullied Chet Holmgren. He made Chet Holmgren quit. And that stemmed back from when they played in the Junior Nationals. Wemby has a glitch. The same glitch Michael Jordan has, the same glitch Kobe Bryant has. They don't forget and they want revenge. So Wembanyama is on a rampage. And he's 22 years old? 23 at the most? So Chet got to figure it out or get traded, and then maybe they'll try to give Giannis a chance. If Giannis replaces Chet in OKC, maybe. But I don't think Giannis is ready for the Western Conference. He can't get healthy. He's a little bit older. And if you saw the Spurs put hands on the Thunder, the Spurs are different. Something about these dudes. When I saw this graphic of Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama as Big Boy and Dre, Stankonia, the black and white American flag graphic. I mean, they are taking over. Spurs, Knicks. I was picking the Knicks last week. But after I saw them dogs from San Antonio, like it's some unknown dogs. A Pressa, a Rottweiler, a Bull Mastiff, a couple of Pit Bulls, a Doberman, a Great Dane. No name coach. They was diving after the balls, locking up SGA, making dudes quit. Where was Lou Dort? He's supposed to be the tough guy. Where was he? And Stephon Castle just a thug. He out there hooping. He used to turn the ball over a lot because he was out there just rough. The UConn legend, UConn star, Stephon Castle, I think a two-time champion, NCAA champion. He got championship DNA. And Wemby got that killer instinct. It's gonna be hard to pick against the Spurs. I think the big fundamental is gonna be very, very, pleased. Like Staff said, speaking of SGA, I'm so happy that those ticky-tock floppers didn't make it to the finals. Yeah, I was tired of watching that too. Knicks Spurs is a throwback to my era of basketball. It's going to be some bloody noses and some busted lips. Not that that's basketball, but that's part of it. When you're playing, when you're competing, and you're getting after it, there's no easy anything. You better dribble the ball and pound it because dudes is going for the rock. And you're going to have to go through your shoulder to get it. Brunson versus Castle? Oh my God. That's a welterweight fight. Tim Duncan could play in any era. So could Kobe. And Kobe, I believe, is and was better than Timmy. I think they have a comparable career. Timmy, he was just in his own class. I got Kobe over Timmy too. But Timmy has just as many accolades as Kobe. So Timmy is one of the all-time best power forwards of NBA history. Just as Kobe's one of the all-time best shooting guards of NBA history. Both 5-time champions, right? Very comparable. Wemby is 20. Wemby ain't no 20 years old. Please look it up. He can't be 20. Okay, Wemby is 22. I was like, that boy better not be 20. I was like, if that dude is 20, we are in trouble. And they can't get Bo to come back and play better. Because Bo is the only guy same size as Wemby. Same skill set, but he don't have that mentality. I think Wemby's mentality is what's pushing him over the top and making him a star before time. Charles Barkley, not on his head, would have to sit out 2 weeks for a concussion. The days are different. Mike says the starting five: Castle, Fox, De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, Bryant, Vassell. I can't even say Champagne. All those dudes. The supporting cast, as they say on the they only call it, it's not even TNT anymore, the ESPN NBA show with Charles, Kenny, and Shaq and Ernie. That's that group right there. I didn't think anybody's gonna be able to run with the Knicks the way the Knicks ran through the East. But as I saw the Spurs took a L and then they came back and fixed it, and then game 7 they turned it up another notch, like another level, like 94 feet, fighting and scrapping. Who wants that pressure? Who wants that kind of pressure? To pick the GOAT, you need to know what's the criteria of being the GOAT. So I watch a guy on Instagram named what's his name, the adult, and he talks boxing, and he is doing criteria of different areas of boxing. Most skilled, greatest natural, most ferocious, most feared. Like, I think all these categories can be part of your conversation. Again, I don't think I'll ever change it. Kareem is my GOAT for what he had to go through in the time period of history in this country and what he accomplished during the time that he was playing. Civil rights movement, going to UCLA, not being able to play as a freshman, but still beating the varsity team, winning the national championship the number of times he did, never lost a game. Came to the NBA, had to face Wilt Chamberlain as a kid. Get to the NBA, you got to deal with Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and you still handle yourself. Wilt Chamberlain blocked his sky hook, but those were goaltends, arguably. He still had one of the most unguardable shots in the history of basketball. When they took away the dunk, he still made his shots at sky hooks. Never had a weakness, shot free throws, played defense, all defense, scoring titles, held the scoring title for 40 years until LeBron broke it. Not having shot more than 5 3-pointers. I think Kareem might have had 3. When you have your mind made up, it's hard to change it. Michael Jordan came close to changing it, but he had those situations where he left the game for 3 years or 2.5 years, and then his swan song as a Washington Wizard didn't help his legacy. But his 6 championships and never having lost any finals does weigh very heavy on his argument. But you still have to deal with Kobe. You still got to deal with LeBron in the argument. With Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, right there. All good conversation. Is it even important? No. It's still just good sports talk. Nobody's going to lose any sleep. Not going to get all upset. But some people do. Mike says, once Castle stopped turning the ball over and once Bryant matures, it won't be fair. They are just scratching the surface. The Spurs will be better in 2 years. Would they be up for a contract, though? Will they be on their rookie deals? Is it like the NFL? The NBA Max, Super Max, rookie deals? Is it a 3-year deal? That's just backcourt bullies. Yeah. And then if the Robertson guy from the Knicks is not fully healthy, Wemby versus Cat. Yeah, I think this might be a gentleman's sweep. I think the Knicks win game 1 and the Spurs win the next 4. I think that's a safe bet. I'll bet one of my $2 bets on my $2 bills on the wall. Kareem is my GOAT. Kareem could also play today's era and would be more polished Wemby, just 3 inches shorter. He would have shot the 3 in this era, and because of the low impact from today, because he would have come into the league at 19 and not 22, would have been a huge difference. Kareem was unstoppable and mean. I think that was one of the things that Wemby has. Wemby is mean. Wemby wants to destroy you. He holds grudges. and he's passionate. All year long, he was trying to give it to you, and he was upset he didn't get the MVP. You could tell. And SGA, people are tired of that flopping. I think his reign is over as MVP. He'll never win it again. I think it's kind of like Westbrook and James Harden. You give them their MVP and then you move on. James Harden is now going to be remembered as a regular season player for the duration of his lifetime. He will never be seen as an elite playoff player. Will he make the Hall of Fame? He got an MVP, so chances are he's going to get in the Hall of Fame because he's an MVP. But now, with his style being what it is, I think we've moved on from James Harden. You're not going to win a championship with James Harden nor Spider Mitchell. That's just how it goes, man. Fox would be the only thing that's up at that time. They have these guys for at least 2 more years. So De'Aaron Fox might be the only one that goes. I think they played a couple games without De'Aaron Fox. It didn't look as good. He's their Mike Conley. You need a veteran, steady guy versus all these wolves and dogs you got on the court, running around, jumping on the ground, diving and carrying on. He said you couldn't touch Kareem today. There's no hand checking. How do you guard a sky hook if you can't hand check? You can't body bump. You have to put something on him to get him out of his rhythm. Otherwise, it's all night. All night, man. But it's good conversation. No harm, no foul. You like who you like. All right, let's go down my timeline while the time I got left. UCLA defense looks like we're going to be a problem. Don't worry about who they are. Don't worry about their names just yet. Just understand the defense looks different. We got dudes. So UCLA football is loading. I believe in Bob Chesney and his philosophy. And I think we'll have a team that competes in the Big Ten this first year out the gate. And then next year, look out. Same path, same trajectory as the Indiana Hoosiers. Give them a year to get in the mix. Allow them to get a couple more players. Lights out. Lights out. Shame on the folks that represent this young man. It is that time of year again. AAU basketball is diabolical. Uar Bernard going to the Eagles. He went to an international football program and learned to play football real quick. Well, this AAU team called Boys to Men have this young man. I believe I have video. It says he's 12. I'm sorry. Not 12. Not 13. Not 14. This man, at the least, is 23 years old. At the bare minimum. I would not be surprised if he's 30. When I saw that, I said, what do you do if you're a parent and you see a man playing against your son and he's 12 and your son is a center who is 6 feet and he's playing against a 6'9" grown man who just shaved all his facial hair to make him look like he's younger than he is? I'll be hot. I'll be upset. I'll be upset like a grown man trying to play women's basketball or run track in the women's division. I'll be upset. You know good and well that's not fair. That man is 32 years old. Shame on him. Also in my timeline, remember this track and field story 2 weeks ago where the high school track and field championships, and this high school was disqualified because a young man came across the finish line raising his hand to show a celebration of victory, and they robbed that team of the state championship. 2 weeks later, the appeals board overturns the call and gives Mallard Creek a co-championship title. I'm glad they got that overturned. I still say shame on those officials who robbed those kids of that moment. You can never recreate it. You can never go back and experience what you could have experienced in the moment. You robbed those kids of winning a championship in the moment because whatever reason you felt it was so important that they did not show any form of celebration. Even in the moment of winning a championship, do not show any form of celebration. Hand your baton to your coach, walk over to your tent and smile. Do not do anything, which is not realistic. Every single race that day, the champion did a gesture of accomplishment. Both hands in the air as we did it. Fist pump, we did it. Yeah, I broke my own personal record. Yes. Are you disqualifying kids for having fun? I'm all for no showboating and showing up anybody else. Nobody was 25 meters of this young man when he raised his hand at the finish line. So shame on those officials. I can't stand the red coats. Old dudes I don't think ever ran track. Old nose blowers that never ran track with the little pistol and the red coat. They're equivalent to the NFL scouts who sit there at the 40-yard line with their stopwatches. Could never run fast, so they will only give you a fast time if they want you to have a fast time. If they want you to have a really slow time, they will start your clock early, and you will come across there with a bad time and no career. So before you go with your head down thinking you're not fast, remember who's timing you. Who's got the stopwatch? Frazier said, I hope he can't shoot free throws, and I would foul him, and you can't stop him. He's talking about Kareem. Kareem can shoot free throws. Kareem can play defense. Kareem can shoot the mid-range. Kareem can do sky hooks, and Kareem could dunk on you. Kareem didn't have much handle, didn't need to. 2 dribbles, sky hook. Today's player has to dribble the ball 10 times to get to their spot. Some players have figured it out. It just takes 2 dribbles to get to your spot. If you watch the old Bernard King documentaries, he would tell you how he would find his spots. He had 14 spots he shot from, and that's why he would average so many points. He would score from these spots. Kobe had spots. Michael Jordan had spots. You shoot the ball from where you are comfortable shooting. Tim Duncan had spots. KG had spots. The professional scorers have spots. It's just how it works. I saw this one, 3-on-1 in the octagon. This reminded me of the month-long debate, 100 men versus a gorilla. Well, we got 3 up-and-coming mixed martial artists versus a mixed martial art pro. So 3 amateurs versus a pro. And it's not like the professional is that much bigger than the guys. He's bigger than them by like 25 pounds. But he took one out, took out another, and now we have 1-on-1. So when he dismantles 2 of them and he's down to 1, it's over with. You don't play mixed martial arts. You don't play boxing. These dudes are killers, man. This is what they do. Respect the game. 3 amateurs? I went boxing this afternoon, well, this evening. And Brandon the Cannon Adams is in there fighting against The Rock. Aaron The Rock. 2 professional fighters. I have no business trying to get in the ring with these dudes. So I just do my little bag work, jump some rope, stretch, and come home and do my show. You don't play boxing. You don't play mixed martial arts. You do stupid things, you get stupid prizes. Those guys got whooped. A professional fighter knows how to fight. I saw something pretty cool in the UFL. You all know Dorian Thompson-Robinson, right? He's played in the NFL, played 6 seasons at UCLA. Really good quarterback out of Bishop Gorman. AJ McCarron's his head coach. They brought him in to stabilize their offense. And this is the end of the game. Of course, they're not going to win. But a moment between coach who used to play quarterback himself and a kid who really wants to play at a high level. He's in tears. And I can't be mad. I'm actually thinking this is refreshing. And the relationships in the game is what it's all about. You only get to play the game so many years before you have to move on and figure out the next chapter in your life. So in this moment, I think it was pretty special. And if you know DTR and what he's been through, and he was a project coming out of high school. He played receiver his junior year. He played quarterback his senior year. He went to UCLA, struggled big time for a while. Chip Kelly just kept with him, stayed with him, trusted him, and he ran his offense for 5.5 years. Won some games, beat SC a few times, had a good career at UCLA, but in the NFL, he played with the Browns. I think he played with the Eagles. He played with a couple of teams. It just didn't work out. So now he's in the UFL. And I think their season was coming to an end because they needed that win to go to the playoffs, and it didn't happen. And he's crying on the sideline visibly, and the cameraman caught it. And then the head coach walks up and tells him he loves him and that he's going to be successful. He just has to get out of his own head. And it's part of the game. It's part of the maturation process. If it's meant for you to be, his dream is to be back in the NFL. No doubt about it. But when you can't win a UFL game, you start realizing that this is coming to an end. He'll play next year. He'll probably play well next year. But will he get another opportunity to play in the NFL? Probably not. Because more kids are going to be coming up. Trinidad Chambliss will be available. Guys like that. So when your boat sails, it's hard. And that's why I want to stop the conversation and pivot to the importance of being a student athlete and not an athlete student. The part of the game that nobody wants to face is the end. When you're young and spry and you have the world in front of you, you want to be the best player of all times. You want to play 23 years like LeBron James, and then you'll figure it out. You want to make millions of dollars and be set for life. Well, I'm sorry to say that is 1%. 1% in most sports that get to have that type of success. The type of success that you can realistically experience is learning the lessons the game can teach you. Learn the lessons. Becoming a professional is gravy. You can possibly get your education paid for, which is even harder now with the NIL and transfer portal. Coming out of high school, just going D1 is no longer automatic for an all-league player. Now you have to have NFL ability to get a Division I scholarship. If you don't have the intangibles, on top of your grades being good enough for that institution, but you have to be the right size. You have to be the right speed. You have to have the right mentality. You have to have the right work ethic. You have to have the right parents. You have to look the part. They're not taking kids because they look young in the face. They want kids who look like grown men, because that's who's in the portal, grown men. So a 17-year-old kid is competing versus a 22-year-old man. The game has changed. So with that being said, get out of the sport that you are playing the tools that you can use the rest of your life. Hard work, dedication, teamwork, camaraderie, responsibility, loyalty. Just being a person who respects those who are in authority, being coachable. All that stuff will take you to your next career. Even if you're going to be your own boss, you'll run your business like a team. Like you want the team to be successful, so you will only put people in the game that will do what you ask them to do. When you put yourself out there as an athlete and not a student athlete, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, and you're setting yourself up for depression. You're setting yourself up for just overall disappointment. Thank Yeshua for the opportunities that you have. Playing high school football, playing college football, and getting an opportunity to play in the pros. That's something to be super thankful for. If you only make it to college, super thankful. If you play high school at a high level and you learn the skills that go with being a well-oiled high school football team, God bless you. You learned what you need to learn from that system and that coaching staff and your teammates. That can carry you throughout your life into all careers that you choose. When kids put all their eggs in one basket and think they're just athletes, that's where it's a problem. So my encouragement is, remember what student athlete means. Use your sport to get your education. So you will have a degree, you will have a skill you can use after the game says you're no longer good enough, because the game will tell you it's over. The DTR video is a reminder. As good as DTR was, he is struggling to stay in the game. He's going to be fine. He has millions of followers. He could be an influencer. He could be a trainer. He has a lot of things he can do. But his days of playing football at a high level are coming to an end. And I think that's the reality that's really got him emotional. He could totally make an NFL roster, but everything has to line up perfectly. And that's scary. So I hope he gets what he desires, but he has to understand he had way more opportunities than most people. He's been beyond blessed. He had a great career. He's having a great career. He played in the NFL, 4 or 5 years, got his pension. He's now playing in the UFL, trying to make it. Hats off to him. I've done that before. I've tried to stay relevant. I tried to stay involved. I tried to stay healthy. Played in multiple leagues, trying to get back. But when you get back to the NFL, you're so low on the depth chart that you don't even get reps. And then you start really seeing that the window is closing. And it's not because you weren't good. It was just because the opportunity never presented itself, and you never got a chance to show that you were better than someone else on the roster to a point where they're willing to eat that person's roster spot, no matter how much money they invested in that kid. That was the situation with me. I was behind 2 draft picks, and I wasn't good enough for them to eat the money they gave 2 guys. So I found myself a free agent. I signed a contract leaving the Arizona Cardinals and going to the New Orleans Saints. And I played 1.5 years, and that was it. Got injured, went overseas, got healthy, came back, 4th string on the depth chart, get cut, go to the Arena League, play 3 years, couple concussions, broken arm. And at that point, I was like, I think I'm good. After I couldn't pass a physical on a free agent contract, I think I'm good. I think I've played long enough. And my prayer was that I would play till I was 30, and I did that. I enjoyed it. Met a lot of good people, made a lot of good contacts, and I was a student athlete. I had my degree. I was able to move on, become a video professional at Fox, become a professional in education, become a teacher, become a coordinator. And I'm back in the mix. I'm back in the classroom, teaching again, enjoying myself, and then out of the blue, coaching again, and keeping my head down and listening to what God wants from me. I've found myself in position at my church, and I'm now lead pastor. So all these things come because I remember being a student athlete. It afforded me all these opportunities because I realized that I can't play ball forever. I have to realize there's plan A, plan B, and plan C. Not that plan A is a failure. Plan A just kind of expires and you have to move on to your next chapter. So I encourage young people to go for it while you can, but don't feel like you failed when it doesn't happen in the grandest form of NBA, NFL, MLB, whatever you want, NHL, pros, whatever you want to be. Have all these plans in place to understand that God's plan for your life is not over because the first plan came to an end and it wasn't a failure. It's just time for you to move on to your next chapter. All right, man. That's my show. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. You said they should have grabbed him together and put him in a grappling hold. They were trying to knock him out, and they couldn't because he was too big. Appreciate that on Twitch. Be blessed. I appreciate you. Be blessed too, Brother Frazier. I'll see y'all next week on the AC Sports Live show. Remember, the show is brought to us by All In CDO Training, Cannon Nation Boxing, and Mood Swing Apparel. I'll give you an update on AC2 next time. Just know that he's working. He's getting fast, as if he wasn't already fast. And I say, watch out. He's going to be scary at the tight end position. So I'll keep you posted on that. All right, y'all. Have a blessed week. I'll see you next time. I'm out.